welcome back to the Issues on IKD 106.1 FM. Of course, it is important for us to sincerely apologize for starting a little bit late, 5 minutes out of our time, but I can assure that we will fill up with that space. Clockwork from our studio, it's exactly 10 minutes past the hour, and we're going straight into the conversation. First off, I should say welcome to the studio, Mrs. Ayoade Olushola. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
It's good to have you in the studio again.
Thank you very much. It's good to be here again.
And I must say, you are looking always radiant. You are always representing.
Thank you
The
very
sneeze
much.
is there.
The sneeze is there, yeah. Never to be caught on fresh.
I'm telling you. So today, we're talking about healthy eating on a budget. And one of the reasons why you're here today is to help Nigerians know how best we can live a healthy life. And to live a healthy life is not far-fetched. What we consume into our body system is one of the ways at which we could live a healthy life.
Sure.
But it is almost impossible right now, according to what many Nigerians will say, to live a healthy life with the current situation in Nigeria. So you would help us through this conversation. To start with, let's talk about healthy eating. As a dietitian that you are, tell us, when you say healthy eating, how best can you break down to the lowest term?
Okay. Thank you for that question.
Yes, please.
Healthy eating, should I say healthy diet, is a diet pattern, that includes varieties of foods, nutritious foods or drinks. I mentioned nutritious foods or drinks. So it's not just about eating anything that comes to one's hand, but eating something that would benefit your well-being and your health. And it's going to provide the nutrients that are needed by your body. So generally that's what healthy eating is.
Many would always believe or have that assumption that when you talk about healthy eating, you just have to consume something. You must always eat something. And because of that mentality, many people are eating, but they're not eating healthy. So according to what you just said, healthy eating requires eating something nutritious. And at the same time, there's another word that you used there. You said that it has to be nutritious and it has to be
beneficial
exactly. To the body. So now let's get talking. You have said healthy eating has to be beneficial to the body and it has to be nutritious. When we talk about balanced diet, which is another key side to look at, what is balanced diet on its own too as well?
Okay, balanced diet is we have 6 classes of food.
Yeah.
So balanced diet is simply saying having each nutrient of these classes of food in a plate of food served at a time. But there is another angle to it, which we call the adequate diet.
Okay.
So that means adequate diet looks into not just balancing all of these varieties of nutrients, classes in the plate of food, but also ensuring that it is what I need in a day. It is going to meet my daily needs. It's going to help my daily functionality, which looks into your age. It has many preferences: the age, the sex, the kind of activity that individual goes through on a daily basis. And even there are times that maybe there might be some considerations like maybe health condition, or perhaps the person is trying to maintain some level of weight or gain some weight. So that is what adequate diet is, looking into what it is. But when it comes to balanced diet, having all of these classes of food in a plate of meal served at a time.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. We're heading gradually to this conversation. If you're still listening, it is the Issues on IKD 106.1 FM. And I must tell you that this is a conversation you don't want to miss at all, because what you consume matters a lot.
Sure.
Now, this is the part of the world, Mrs. Ayoade, where people believe that, we know a balanced diet. We know they have told us to eat healthy, but circumstances around us does not even warrant that. So some people have had that mentality of there is this thought that so far I'm satisfied, so far I'm consuming something, forget about the balanced diet. So tell us, how important is it? Why should we ensure that we have a healthy eating lifestyle? Why should we focus on a healthy living lifestyle? Not just eating, but eating healthy. Why is it important?
One of the importance of actually eating healthy, or inculcating a healthy eating lifestyle, is because, number one, it serves our body. It's the fuel of the body. It serves the body. How well the body functions is dependent on that. So for let me say, for instance, for a growing child, for the cognitive development, the physical, the growth and all of that, for that child to be able to attain that optimally, that means that child is having a nutrient that is adequate, that will promote the growth and
growth.
development of that child. So if that is not, if that is absent or that is lacking or is even deficient, then you see that child coming down with some kind of health conditions, which in the later life for adults also, you know, we have some conditions, we have some metabolic conditions that eventually the kind of food we eat, and the lifestyle we engage in attribute to what we, and our environmental factors too, you know, attribute to all of this put together in the long run, and these complicate or implicate our health. So generally for us to actually not just eat anything but to eat healthy is to more like is to put at the back of our mind that I'm doing this for my body. This is the only thing I can do for the body to function optimally or appropriately, or rather put adequately. So when that is lacking or when that is insufficient, then the body cannot carry out its daily, you know, performance. Let me use that word.
Okay, thank you very much for that
Thank
one.
you.
You've given us reasons why it is important that we should eat healthy. Now, let us look at some dangers, if at all there are any. You are a medical practitioner. You've been through this. You're still in it. There should be people, or there are people that, in a way or the other, they've rushed them down to, your clinic. And when you look at it, you discover it is because of the kind of meal they consume. Some do not believe that not eating properly or eating healthy could be dangerous to the health system. So, are there any health dangers, implications to not eating healthy?
Of course, there are. There is what we call malnutrition.
Okay.
And I think many a times why I'm picking malnutrition is when people only recognize malnutrition as underweight.
Exactly.
They don't realize that someone that is obese is also malnourished. Someone that it could be a child, it doesn't have to be an adult.
Okay.
You can see a child that is all puffy and be like, this is a big, chubby baby. But if you look at, maybe if you just try to assess what that child has been having, you realize that this child is obese. So malnutrition is one of the complications of unhealthy eating habits. Then when it now comes about it, depending on whichever one has, when one is on the weight, there is a possibility of eating hunger, which is majorly seen in children too. You know, eating hunger means it's not something you can see, but this person is lacking or deficient in some important vitamins and minerals in the body. But you cannot see it because it is within, it is hidden. It is when it is now at a very, should I say, severe stage that you begin to see the symptoms or the signs, the person begins to see the signs on such person. And for adults too, even for children, it brings about some metabolic disorder conditions. You know, some metabolic disorder like it can cause hypertension in some persons because of the lifestyle they have, you know, involved themselves in, their eating and their lifestyle. Then it can also cause diabetes. We have majorly maybe type 2 diabetes, and these are attributed on healthy eating, or should I say obesity, have attributed to this. And if it is not well managed, it can also, you know, degrade to some fatal ones. It could be someone that has hypertension who eventually
It could get that bad.
it could actually affect the liver, it could affect the kidney, it could affect the person could have a heart attack, it could be anything. So I think I've heard of people saying this person was taking an energy drink constantly just to, you know, be able to go through a particular day of work,
Just to stay active at
to
work.
stay active for a number of days. And in the long run, because they have to put so much pressure on themselves and on their hearts, they end up having maybe perhaps a cardiac arrest. And if they're unfortunate that nobody is there when it happened, and you just hear RIP nest. So it has its complications, it has its implications. You understand? And if it is not well looked into, then it becomes something that you begin to manage.
Let us talk about the age factor. There is this mindset. We will go down to misconceptions too. You know, some fallacies, some thoughts that goes through the minds of people when you talk about healthy eating. Healthy eating, to some, they see that it is more concentrated, or they believe that it should be more concentrated on children. So you see that there is always so much focus on my child should eat well, my child should eat fine so that he will grow well and look healthy. But they don't do that for the adult. So I want to ask, when we talk about healthy eating, is this something that has to do with age? Do we need to focus on healthy eating at a particular age, or it is something that cuts across every age bracket?
Okay, healthy eating cuts across all age brackets.
Okay.
But there's something we call catch them young. It's better to start early.
Okay.
Early initiation of, healthy eating habits, incorporating it into one's lifestyle early enough helps one to actually reach that optimal performance in life or whatever it is one wants to do. So healthy eating is very, very crucial, and it has its own impacts.
It's very crucial.
Very, very crucial.
And it has its own
And
impact.
in addition, more children are of more demand when it comes to that than adults. But somehow, in a way, we feel we are giving them, for children, we think we are actually giving them what they want. They are eating healthy. But many times, what we do is not healthy eating. We're just giving them what is available. For instance, most of the snacks for children are highly processed foods. Should I talk of I don't know if it is a brand name, I don't want to talk. This kind of ball thing that is coated with with in orange form.
Floppy snacks.
Exactly, that floppy snacks. We have many of them. We have the juice, we have the different names, the milky one, the sugary one. So highly processed food, those ones that are well coated with, high in sodium or rather high in sugar, and we give them, they take these snacks to school every now and then. Rather than maybe just make some smoothie for that child or put some fruits, banana, apple, put it into what they are taking to school. I think we see on Instagram these days, you will see parents making a lunch bag for their children. They would think they are traveling to have the food for eternity. And they will pack varieties. And you ask yourself, what kind of food, how many can this child finish at a time? And they will pack everything. For such child, it's possible the child is having all of that and eventually comes down with obesity too. So, like we used to say, like I said, catch them young. You start early and ensure that for adults, if peradventure they have started that lifestyle early, you continue. And if they haven't, because as the body ages, is not as functional as it should be.
As it should be.
Exactly. Every other thing is getting aged. Might not be able to work on those kind of things the way we have had them before. So there needs to be some adjustment. But it's better when we start it from when they are younger. Then when they are younger, of course, it's a lifestyle they would surely embrace. It's a lifestyle they will surely embrace. But like I've mentioned, if it sees that it doesn't happen that way, we can do it for the adults too. But it's very crucial.
One thing that you will help us through today on this particular program is, what are the things we should be consuming? We will look at the adults, we'll look at the younger ones, and as well the children. But before then, I want us to look at some misconceptions. There are a lot of misconceptions when you talk about diet. When you talk about healthy eating, you hear plenty of things.
Of course, a lot.
One of them, you hear that this person that is slim, looking skinny, is not eating healthy. And it might not be so. So there is this mindset that if you're big, you're chubby, you're fat, then that means you're eating healthy. The one that I want to ask first, bringing it down to the normal standard of questioning. When people hear the word healthy eating, they assume it is expensive to live a healthy life and eat healthy. How true is this word, or is this a fallacy?
Well, I won't say it's a fallacy.
Okay.
There is an iota of truth in it.
Okay.
But the beautiful thing about it is, for every nutrient we are focusing on for this healthy eating, you would always see in varieties of food. That's why we have different classes of food. I cannot afford rice, but I can afford corn. I cannot afford what's it called? Oats. But I can afford pap.
Which is cheaper.
Do you understand? So it's not really about, but many a times it's not really about how expensive it is. But are we trying to diversify? Many of us cannot do varieties. We cannot, try to put one or two together to get what we want. And we always also want to impress. Especially because we take the food to work, or we will do this. My food must smell nice. My food must look this. And check out too. So these are things that, but in all, is not outrightly true, but it is not so expensive. If you are having vegetables, if I'm growing my ewedu in my house, if I'm growing my okra in my house, and we are in a rainy season, so it's going to favor this growth, these crops. So why not try to do something of such for yourself? So it can be expensive if you are going for the expensive one. I will always tell, if I want to cancel, like maybe I'm telling our industrial training, I will tell them, If you're giving me types of food, give me one, drive me home. Don't take
Okay.
me to Obodoyinbo. I'm not in the abroad, I'm
Exactly.
in the Nigeria. So because these are the people you want to talk to, I can buy garden egg, it's vegetable.
And it's affordable.
Exactly.
Mm.
People are not using cucumber to cook. I cannot buy tomatoes of 500, maybe 3 pieces or 4 pieces. And you will buy a big cucumber of 300. Just go through it, sieve it, like they are doing now. It's just being innovative and trying new things. But in this part of the world, we are not open to changes. We're not open to trying new things. We're not open to risk taking. So because this is the way we know it has been done, we just follow it that way.
That pattern.
Exactly. If I want to cook jollof rice, it must be jollof rice. People use atagugu to cook jollof rice, grind pepper. If you are eating, it's tasty. The Yorubas will say owo lobe. Is what you cook. It's not about adding all of those, you know. Exactly. You know, if I cannot afford meat on it, I'm going for crayfish. I've put plenty of it. I'm still having what I wanted. Do you understand? If I cannot afford crayfish, I can afford eja yoyo. I'm adding it to it. I don't have to break the bank. I don't have to go for the all expensive one. I'm still having my meal and I'm fine.
Another misconception, thank you very much for that one, Ayuade Olushola. We're still having this conversation here on the issues at IKD 106.1 FM, healthy eating on a budget. Another misconception people will tell you is that it is not a must you eat 3 square meal. If you eat something very good in the morning and then at night you eat something very good, forget about the afternoon. Some will tell you that eat very good in the afternoon, eat very well in the morning, leave the night and let your system digest well. Now, you as a medical practitioner, I'd like for you to put us through this 3 square meal of a thing. How accurate is it? How true is it? And how should it be originally?
Okay, 3 square meal is the normal standard.
Okay.
Do you understand? And not just 3 square meal. You can have intake of snacks or healthy snacking. So for those that do 101 or 110 or 011, the truth is
001.
Exactly. The truth is they have all of that food at its sitting because they have skipped a meal. So the next meal they are having, they will just be aggressive like, I didn't eat since morning. And when they want to serve themselves, they will consider morning whole and add it to the afternoon whole. They might not have eaten it in the morning or in the afternoon, but they are adding it to the next meal or they've had it with the previous meal. So they are just trying to, should I say, self-deceit. We all eat it. You are not eating small portion, you are eating big portion. If you are eating 3 times, and I'm saying 3 small portion, don't eat like you want to go and
fight a war.
Or you want to dig well, you know. You are not fighting Third World War, so why do you have to eat like there is no tomorrow? Some people cannot, they are voracious eater, they eat so much. For such person that can finish a drika of rice at a time, at a sitting rather. And another person that will just take maybe half a milk after cooking a milk cannot even take up to 1/3 of it. That person might want to do 3. Then I think is also the activity level is also a determinant. Some persons, or should I say the kind of lifestyle, I'm a sedentary worker, I sit most days and I don't do much of this. People do it. I'm not saying having 2 times eating is not, because Nigeria of today will bend you to even 1.5.
Exactly.
Do you get? But if that's what you want to do within that two times, you can go for some other kind of food. It does not have to be a full meal. You know, when you are going for a dining, they would say, I mean, at a restaurant, they would have what's it called, an appetizer. They will have the main meal, and they will also have the dessert. So it can be like, okay, I'm taking fruit veggies later in the afternoon. I'm having that. Most times they take something. Yeah, I had green tea. I took pap. They don't recognize it as food. I took smoothie. They don't recognize it as food. So they do that, but when they are hitting the next one, they might not even hit voluminous. Then they are having what's it called, fries and chicken. I beg, the calorie of whatever you are having also has also made up for the one you have missed. Exactly. So at times it's not really about the volume of the food or the quantity of the food. Also the preparatory, or the preparation of the food is another thing to count on. You're having a highly processed food. You did not eat in the morning. You have joined the calorie together.
Talking about the kind of volume of consumption as meal, you know, this will be the last misconception. So we go ahead with how best you can help us talk about essential tips to healthy eating. Now, talking about consumption, some will tell you that until a man eats heavy, now, man in quotes, be you male or female, until one eats very heavy, that is when you have satisfied the system, and that is when the system is okay. You don't need to just eat little and say you've eaten. You must eat so heavy that your body will feel it, that you're so satisfied. So I want to ask you, as a dietitian, is it really true that you must eat and feel that I am so satisfied? Is that when you can say you have eaten healthy?
No, being satisfied does not mean you are eating healthy. That's just quantity over quality.
Mm,
Do you understand? It's not the quantity of what you are eating that guarantees how nutritious it is. It is the quality of what you are having. I always give instances to mothers, nursing mothers. I will say, if you like, give your child pap. He's eating well, can take 250 meals, and you're adding just 1 tablespoon of milk and add it and give it to the child. Another person is just, maybe the child is just taking about 60 meals of pap, but the mother is adding maybe peanuts, or is adding soya, is adding egg, added milk, added a natural sweetener, and is giving the child, or had breast milk or formula, and you give the child. That one, even though it is small, is more nutritious than the person that have had like a full cup, and is filled. Do you get? And I think the kind of food we eat also can make us full.
okay.
Because we have foods that are very high in fiber. So this fiber, what does it do? It fills us up. It gives us satiety. I've eaten, I'm satisfied, I'm full. So that's what it does. So that's why we always try to have inclusion of vegetables, non-starchy one, or even starchy one, if you don't have any condition. Include it in your meal at a time. Try to do that. So by the time you are eating, just for instance, I want to eat amala, and I have about a bowl or 2 bowls of soup. I will not eat as much as I will eat the amala, because the bowl would also, the soup will also, the vegetable will take some space in me.
It's
I
inclusive,
need to
yeah.
exactly, I need to fill me up. But rather, I would rather do plenty, little soup, just to chop and be filled. You understand? So I think it's not about the quantity. Sorry, the voluminous does not say you have eaten healthy. But if it is that you have volume, and you have considered that this is a balanced diet, and it is adequate diet for me, adequate in nutrients that I need at this serving, then you can say it is nutritious.
Having said that, let's look at what are some of
healthy
the
eating.
essential tips for eating healthy on a tight budget, whether we like it or yes. I don't know if you would agree, but right now Nigerians are on a tight budget.
We are in this country together.
You look different. You look fresher than myself and every other person.
I use Orishia butter. That's why.
Right now we're about 7 or thereabouts in the studio, and you're the only one looking dapper. And
The
all that.
light is on me.
Okay, so tell us, what are some of the essential tips for eating healthy at such a time like this in Nigeria? Budgets are tight, in as much as we know the government is saying there are other strategies in place right now to ensure that food comes in a very affordable rate, at a very affordable rate. But tell us, how can we eat well with this kind of budget?
Okay. Before I go to how we can eat on a budget,
Okay.
I would first like to give foods, different food sources, and then under which nutrients.
Very well then.
Do you understand?
Very well then, yes.
And okay, number one, we have rice for carbohydrates. We have fufu, we have tapioca, we have yam, we have pounded yam. We have tuwo, either rice or maize. We have bread, we have sweet potato, we have Irish potato, and many more. Then for protein, we have the agbalagbi of now. That is odogo of now. We have beans. You can say I have to respect the beans before calling beans.
I heard it's about 11,000 naira per bucket now.
You are right. I heard they are selling more spoon for
500 naira.
I would rather go and buy bread and butter and buy water. You understand? So we have beans, we have peas. All these peas that we use for our salad or our fried rice. We have egg. That one is a senior man too. We have crayfish, because we have ejakika. We have pomo. Pomo has nutrients too.
But I hear that pomo has no nutrient. It has nothing to offer the system.
It depends on the kind of pomo you're buying.
Oh, there are types of pomo too?
Yes, now, the one they have smoked the life out. How can you smoke the nutrient out of something and what they expose it to. But if it is the fresh one or the dry one, you are good to go, my brother.
The dry one is good to go.
You are good to go. You just need to soak it. I don't mean the roasted
Yes, yes,
Ijebu
yes,
Hono.
yes.
You know, the other one. You're still sure that the nutrient is still
What if
freshly
I
packed.
tell you that I stopped eating pomo a very long time ago? Because some people tell me that they told me rather that pomo has nothing to offer.
Pomo
And I'm a
has.
lover of pomo.
It's just that the nutrient is not very much. But if there's something they call agemawo, as agemawo, they call little meat. They cut little meat.
Don't make me
That one.
salivate. You're making me hungry.
No, you say you're not eating it again. Don't worry. So that we have that. We have eja. We call there's what something called a follow. Eja
Okay, eja
yo.
follow.
Exactly. We have so many. You know, we have akon. Akon is in season now. We have igbin for the odogus. We have
That's a snail.
we have crab. We have so many things. So that's for protein.
Yes.
Before I go on, we have wara, the milk curd.
Wow.
Yes, we have wara. We have cheese for the Oloyinbo people. The the English people. We have milk. We have yogurt.
Okay.
So those are protein. I'm sure you'll be able to afford one or two from this and add to your food. We cannot reach it you to that level. Then we now go to the fats. We have butter. We have epo, palm oil. We have ororo, vegetable or any kind of oil. Then we have our nuts. Sorry, I forgot to mention the protein. We have egusi. That's the melon. We have ogbono. They are protein. All the seeds. Any seeds. All the nuts. They belong to our seeds. They are all protein. So now for the fats, we have ogbono. We have egusi. We have butter. We have mayonnaise. Even though some of them are highly saturated, and we have some that are natural. We have black seed. We have flaxseed oil. We have all of those ones under oil, and we have them under protein too. So majorly proteinous foods have both protein. Plant protein have protein and they have oil. Then we go to the next one, the vitamins and our minerals.
Exactly.
We have it in our food that we eat, but if you want to see them, catch them well, you get them from our vegetables and our fruits. We have fruits in season now. We have golden melon. We have watermelon. We have asala. That's walnuts. We have mango is not in season. Please, we have many fruits in season now.
Yeah, sure.
Then for the vegetables, we have cucumber, we have cabbage, we have garden egg, we have eggplants, we have lettuce. We have spring onions, we have tomatoes, we have bell pepper, we have tatashe, I think, and we have what's it called? This long one, chili pepper. It's not rodo, the chili one, the long one. Yes, we have those ones. They are all vegetables. And we have starchy vegetables like potato. Do you understand? Like yam. So we have those ones. We have beetroot. They're vegetables. They are good. So now for fruits, I've mentioned all of that. So now when we now want to consider budgets, you understand?
Yes.
Eating on a budget. So I've mentioned the varieties I can remember of all this food. So what I want to do, like I've mentioned, the first thing, write a list before you go to the market. Some of us are impulsive buyers. I used to have a colleague then. Anytime they bring something to the office, she would buy. And the funny thing is, she was still owing this woman. Madam, what are you buying?
Always buy.
I had always. See, she sees the woman, her heart is here. She has come to collect money. And she will still buy. The woman has sweet mouth. She will say, come and buy dress. Sorry, I give tailor. Tailor alone wonders what I wear. I cannot afford it. Do you understand? So let's not be impulsive buyers. Write your list out when you go to the market and when you want to buy. Some of us, because that's a trending thing, you are collecting how much on a monthly basis. But because you say it's raining season, you cannot use your leg, my 12, Sabo, you're now doing online. Of course, online we sell for those that can afford it.
Sure.
But if you enter market, you will see it more affordable. So why not carry those your legs and go to the market? So go for foods that are in season. Go for places that you can see them cheap. And if at all those online are doing sales, grab it. If there are things that you need in the house, I'm mentioning the tips already.
Yes,
if there are things that you need in the house, do you understand? You know that you use this on the regular. Onions, there are times that onions will be like odogu, and there are times that it will be humble. And you see that they are doing, or somebody is bringing something from the north, and you will need it. You can tell them to help you. You understand? Somebody wants to share meat. If you go to market, they will cut small for you. Let's share together. You will still get something, substantial with the little amount that you're trying to buy with. So that's very, very important. Then the next one, cook at home. Take
Okay.
out have spoiled the day now.
Mm.
Of course, they will sell. Food vendors will sell.
Mm.
You know, everybody's into food now. Food will never go out of. Cook at home.
Mm.
Make your own meal. Some of us will not even cook at home. You will not. You will buy. You will might eat at home, and you will buy takeout in the. I mean, in the afternoon for lunch.
Mm.
Take it. Bring it from home.
Mm.
And also, when you're cooking at home, it affords you the opportunity of adding the condiments you want to add. You don't
Okay.
know they what I like I always say I eat out, but maybe if I want to eat, I will even reason it.
Mm.
If I want to buy chicken and I'm there and I'm seeing one small side of maybe grilled chicken, they say 2K. I'll say how many? They say one. I'll say, are you sure? They did not say chicken. If I don't eat grilled chicken, I will die. I'd rather go and buy my chicken, grill it at home.
By
I will
yourself.
have more quantity. I cannot waste 2K, but I know how I see this money.
Mm.
Do you understand?
Mm.
I will not impress. I'm not. Who am I impressing?
Exactly.
I don't even reach to impress. I'm not there. So let's do all of this.
Mm.
Cook at home. Add your own condiments. They had a lot of things that put people at risk.
Mm.
No, their health is at risk because of what they consume.
Mm.
You will hear some people say, I'm an hypertensive and diabetic patient. You never bring food from house. You're always buying takeout. And when they sell food to you, what do? They will make sure they put Maggi and salt to make
So you
it
can
sweet.
come back tomorrow.
Exactly, to make it tasty.
Mm.
You don't even know if the oil they use in frying that your meat or fish, they have been using it for a week. They are reusing. You don't know.
Mm.
So it's always, but when you cook at home, you are sure of this. Everything is in order the way you want it,
Mm.
how you want it to taste, how you want it to be done. Then which other one? I've mentioned cooking at home.
Cooking at home.
Exactly. Then, like I said, go for foods in season and fruits.
Mm.
We have foods in season now. Go for them. Don't just rely on I know this, I can do this. Avoid buying highly unnecessary foods, highly processed foods. Example is some of us will pack Coke and Fanta in the house.
Mm.
The money you will use to buy that one, if it is water you are buying, you will not stress.
Mm.
So limit those highly processed food. Some of us is canned food, sausage, this, that. I'm not saying you cannot have them, but you want to be on it. Some people want to cook noodles. They will put hot dog. They will put sardine.
Mm.
They will put bobo to bobo.
All the carrots,
And
all
you-
the pepper, and
Some
everything.
of them might not even put carrots like that. They will say, I don't know. I just want it. And they will add that spice, all of it.
Mm.
Some might even say maybe it's not sweet. They had extra Maggi,
Mm.
or extra seasoner. They do all of that. So when you take all of those, you are even putting yourself. You have the money to do that.
Mm.
You are not putting yourself. Then this next one, plant your own food.
By
Plant your own
yourself.
crop.
Mm.
Have a small portion of maybe sack or unused buckets.
Mm.
Plant something. Do you understand? Plant it. Therefore, we have these things. They sell them in the market. Those seeds. Buy as many as you can buy. People are planting yam in buckets, in sacks now. So you
Sure.
don't have to own a land. Just go and look for where you will get sand
Mm.
and try to fertilize the sand. Put manure in it.
Mm.
Go and look for shit of anybody.
Mm.
Woman shit, animal shit is good. Just put it and you are good to go. You are planting and something is growing for you. Do you understand? So these are many things that we can do
Mm.
to actually be on a budget. It's going to help us a lot.
Mm.
Like I've mentioned, I'm emphasizing, don't be an impulsive buyer.
Mm. Mm.
Don't be an impulsive buyer.
If you're listening, you've heard from our dietitian today, most especially talking about those of us that eat out. As she has said it clearly, it is not wrong to eat out, but then when you're eating out, don't make it a regular habit. Don't make it a daily habit. Learn to cook for yourself. Learn to do these things yourself. Now, we would accommodate calls if at all you have questions to ask our guest in the studio today as regards our focus, healthy eating on a budget. The studio lines are still the same, 0904081161 or 0904082161. Before we go down to the phone lines, we have, let's take this first one. This is from our social media coming from Yusuf or Lami Lekon Adeniran. I don't know if it's a he or a she, but please pardon
From
me.
the name, I think
This
it's
person
okay.
is saying, what is the quality of foods an adult should take? We tend to follow the sweetness of the food and the fear of getting hungry in a short while. So I think this person is asking the question, what is the quality of foods an adult should take? We'll definitely get there, but let's attend to this one first.
Okay, the quality of food to take is dependent on your age,
Mm,
your sex, your age, your sex, and your physical activity.
okay.
Do you understand?
Mm,
Your what your daily routine is,
mm,
the kind of work you do.
mm,
Do you understand? And if it happens that there is an underlying condition, that is also put into consideration. So
mm,
it's not just something there has to be an assessment before I would say if there is need for it, eat this.
mm,
But generally, that's why there is a general knowledge of things. These are foods you can eat. But when it now comes to the quantity that you need as a person,
mm,
I think is dependent on, I mean, that now drives it to us.
mm.
So you can come to meet us in at General Hospital Ikorodu, Dietetics and Nutrition Department, and we will serve you better, Yusuf.
Another question here. This person wants to know: people living with diabetes, what kind of meal can they take? So let's also attend to this one. Patients living with diabetes.
All right. For someone living with diabetes, it's not a general dietary management. It's
Oh, okay.
individualized. So I
Okay.
cannot tell you eat this, don't eat this,
Mm,
because I don't even know what your sugar level is reading. Maybe
mm,
it's up in the sky, or it's just moderate. Do you
mm,
understand?
mm,
I don't know what your lifestyle is. I don't know how your diet history is. So these are things that I need to know. So I will advise that the person comes to General Hospital Ikorodu and asks for dietetics and nutrition department, and I'm promising you that you will feel satisfied with the service you would get.
All right. Thank you for that one. The studio lines are very much available: 0904 081 1061. Yeah, but let's go to the phone lines first before I ask this one. Hello. Thank you for calling. What's your name and where you calling us from? Please go
Okay.
ahead with your contribution or question.
I discovered that we've gotten wrong information in the past that foods like carrots, they tend to do more goodness, like making the eyesight clearer. But I discovered that in most of people that do take them to correct the eyesight,
Mm.
they do tell me that it doesn't work the way the eye see. So I want the dietitian to tell us, are they mixed or is it, are there ways of using it, properly? So
Mm.
that people can, because many people are still on their eyeglasses. So
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Let's take another.
Thank you, Mr.
We will take
Yusuf.
another call and then combine together. Hello to you. Thank you for calling. Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. Please go ahead. Talk to us.
as a result of nutrition politics in our society, we find ourselves in a problem of food malnutrition, and this causes a serious threat to our life. Cause for damaging our reproductive system, eye system, as well as making memory system destroyed. So we need a very improved economy that we will be able to balance our food nutrition. That is what my suggestion this morning. And that under that condition, it's supposed to make a regular consistent supply by
Mm.
central bank, as well as the women's better salary packages for the government, for the workers of the Nigeria.
God bless Nigeria. Thank you very much. Hello to you. Who's on the phone line? Good morning. We're still very much in the morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for calling. Please go ahead.
I have a question and also and another part of kind of a suggestion. My first question is ma, um in Nigeria nowadays, some people say yes, I want to live okay. In the morning they eat rice without things or just rice. In the afternoon they drink garri with maybe groundnuts or with without nothing. And later in the night they either eat eba. Now, from these classes of food that I just read, to starch, to carbohydrates, most times we fail to realize that in doing a balanced diet, we should kind of like mix in between a protein or carbohydrates and protein. If I'm eating rice in the morning, I can add plantain, I can add things to it. In the afternoon, if I'm drinking garri, maybe I can add milk and I can add granite. And in the night, like you said, it's quite for about the 20 if I'm eating solid food in the night, I can either eat it with vegetable, okra, this normal ewedu that is not water leaf or bitter leaf. So we need as an individual, like you said, it's not necessary that you have millions of dollars to live life to be okay.
Mm.
The little 500, 700, 1,000, you can actually make best of it in trying to balance whatever we take into our picture because even only on cash alone is not doing us well. We need to balance all these food as well. And we need to mix them in between, even if you have to start all this. Try balancing and mixing it with a protein or another white meat or a beef and every other thing. So my question is, man, I don't know if you can just help us to throw more light on this. I know you are that's your medical field, that's not my own medical field. But little that I know that yes, we need to balance our diet just to make us to live a good health. Like so much. I don't know if you can just like some people like just like start morning, day and night.
Mm.
Just start right
Mm.
without and then I think so I just feel like this. I would like to listen to your
Thank you very much for that one. And before we continue with the calls, I know a lot of you have so much to ask our dietitian in the studio. Let's start from the carrot. I have also heard that one too a lot. And I
Okay.
have a particular friend who would eat carrot almost every day. Ask him why. Because of my sight. They say if I eat enough carrot. So let's start from that particular question
All
first.
right. For there is something we call preventive, and there is something we call curative.
Okay.
I mentioned something earlier that you catch them young.
Mm.
Everything in our body is developed. Majorly everything, 70% of our growth and development is attained as by 2 years.
Okay.
Then from 5 years, we achieve most of it. Then
Mm.
as we advance, some of them begin to. Then by age 21 or I think 25, everything is fine. But not
Mm.
that everything is still growing. Some are by 18 or 19, your teeth is complete also. I think by
Mm.
25. So some developments are still happening.
Mm.
If you want to, me that I'm speaking, I'm on glasses.
Mm.
I eat carrots. But I
Oh,
didn't
this
eat,
is recommended.
yeah, it's recommended.
Oh, beautiful.
I eat carrots, but I don't eat carrots. I was not given carrots early in life. So what I'm trying to say is it is not more preventive because the damage has been done already.
Mm.
And there are some that it cannot correct. You cannot have glaucoma and think carrots will correct it.
Mm.
Do you understand?
Mm.
So there are some that
Especially if you've gone past that age.
it cannot correct.
Mm.
Some are genetic,
Mm.
hereditary. So how do you want to correct something that is hereditary?
Mm.
You can only limit its effects.
Mm.
Do
It
you
can only be
understand?
managed.
Exactly. You can
Mm.
only manage it and make sure. And if sometimes the management can be surgery, maybe early enough and do all of that. So carrots has vitamin A. It is
Mm.
not a meat. It
Okay.
helps. Do you
Mm.
understand?
Mm.
But for those that adding it to your child's food, you don't know if the child maybe you have history of. Some people blink a lot. Do you understand? You don't know what it is that the condition might be.
Mm.
So you're trying to prevent, if at all, there can be some small ones giving it. It's clearer eye. Oh.
Mm.
It's not that I will not see or I will see something far. We have different side effects. We have short-sightedness, we have long, we have glaucoma, we have so many. So you cannot just say this is it, but vitamin A is there. And it's not only the one that has vitamin A. For our oils,
Mm.
they are fortified with vitamin A.
Mm.
So far, they are the branded ones. You
Mm.
understand?
Mm.
They are fortified with vitamin. So it is good. You can take your carrots. But not that I'm growing now, I'm not eating carrots. It might also make some difference.
Mm.
Do you understand?
Mm.
But you cannot
It
do
will not do magic.
the difference cannot be from something that has already, formed up and you want to now say, I want to do this.
Mm.
It cannot do that.
Okay, I think there's another question I'm trying to recall where another caller. No, the next one was a contribution in support of that which you have said. But there's a question coming from Mr. Larry who asks that how can we balance, someone who takes gari in the afternoon, takes rice in the morning, taking carbohydrate like almost for the 3 square meal.
Yeah. Carbohydrates is our major food in this world. I'm sorry, in this part of the world, in Nigeria, West Africa.
Mm.
Majority of our food is carbohydrates. So we cannot shy away from that.
Mm.
So when I mean having a balanced and adequate diet or a nutritious meal or diet is the plate of food you are eating at a time.
Mm.
And many a times we do it, but we don't recognize that we are doing it. But we do it not as much as we ought to.
Okay.
So we don't see the effect, or should I say the impact, as it should be. For instance, if I want to eat amala, do you understand? I can say I want to use abula, gbegiri and ewedu. Then I have my maybe pomo or fish, edakika, or I will go for meat, either one meat or two, and they will add soup on it. So let me pick this amala. Amala is carbohydrates. We have the ewedu. Ewedu is vegetable. It's vitamins and minerals, very rich in it. We have begiri. Begiri is beans. It's protein. They will use oil to make the begiri. That's vitamin A and it has oil. Then the next one, I will use salt and maggi. Or should I say salt and bouillon cube? That's a seasoner. Yabi? They have minerals. Even though there is some, there are, of course, salt is natural mineral. Then what else did I add? My pomo or my this. If I'm adding hiru too, that's protein to the ewedu. So I'm now having my pomo or my fish. I've added protein. I've mentioned carbohydrates. I've mentioned fat and oil. I've mentioned vitamins. I've mentioned mineral. I've mentioned water. The last one, of course, we'll cook with water. So we have all the classes of food. So the intention of now eating adequately is to make sure that I have quite a portion size of each in my plate of food. Okay, for instance, I personally, I do, not because, okay, they can say because I'm a dietitian, but let me give. So if I want to cook, if let's say I'm making rice and stew, our pepper, don't forget our stew is vegetables. They are rich in vitamins and minerals. So I have added my stew, I have my meat, and I feel, I don't want to take too much, or I want to take too much, maybe to eat it 2 times, breakfast and lunch, and I can slice cucumber on it. I have quite a amount of cucumber. If I buy 300 cucumber, I can use it for 3 or 4 days if I'm using it alone. Do you understand? 300 cucumber is big, so I can use it 3 or 4 times. If I'm taking soup, then that is sorted. So having your carbohydrates morning, afternoon, and dinner is not the concern really, because that is what it does. It gives energy. If you don't eat them, how do you want? You cannot. Of course, fat too gives energy, but fat is not going to be a source of energy that much for us. It's not going to do as much. How many epo do I want to lick?
Our dietitian, we have to leave. We have to leave because of our time. But want to say thank you so very much for being a part of this one. So in just a 1 minute, if achievable, we would like you to give us your parting words, your best advice to everyone out there listening to you as a dietitian.
Let's eat within our means. Source for varieties. Make your own meal. Do less of takeouts. And please limit highly processed foods in added sugar, sodium, and unsaturated fats. And I'm sure, and please, lastly, let's try to exercise. And I know with the help of God, we will live a full, long life.
Thank you so very much, Ayoade Olushola from General Hospital Ikorodu. Next Thursday will be another very good time for us to talk healthy on the issues at IKD 106.1 FM. I remain your very own Opeyemi Adebambo. Remember, health, they say, is wealth. God bless Nigeria. God bless Lagos. God bless every one of you out there. It's a bye for now.